Hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stories like this need to be shared. The first text arrived at midnight, and I still remember the sting when I read it. You okay? Flight delayed. We'll call tomorrow. I stare at the screen, phone shaking slightly in my hand, though I knew it was nothing unusual. My husband, Daniel, had been unreliable like this before, always running late, always distracted. But this time, it felt different. The small apartment smelled faintly of burnt toast and coffee, a lazy Sunday morning lingering even at midnight. I had been planning this vacation for months, a quiet escape to the coast, away from city noise, away from the constant tension that had been building between us. Daniel didn't approve of my solo trip. He said it was selfish, that we should spend time together instead. But I needed space, and honestly, I needed to see if life felt any lighter without his constant interruptions. So I blocked him, messages, calls, notifications, all gone in one swipe. I told myself it was temporary, a pause, not a punishment. The days leading up to my departure were tense. Daniel lingered near the doorway more than usual, eyes scanning, almost searching. He asked about work, asked about friends, about errands, small, repetitive questions that hinted at worry, but also something unspoken. I responded with short answers, brushing past questions, but inside, I felt a quiet thrill. For once, I was prioritizing me. By the time I reached the airport, the sky was streaked in peach and indigo, the kind of light that makes the world feel endless. I had my suitcase, my headphones, and a stack of unread novels. As I boarded, I caught my reflection in glass. Tired eyes, tense jaw, but a small, stubborn smile. Freedom, I told myself. Finally, freedom. But as the plane lifted off, my phone buzzed, not with his name, but a notification from a mutual friend. Daniel hasn't answered any of our messages. No one's heard from him since you left. I froze. A pit twisted in my stomach. What had I done? The first day on the coast was everything I imagined. Waves crashing against jagged rocks, the salty air filling my lungs, sunlight glinting off the water like scattered diamonds. I walked along the boardwalk, trying to push Daniel from my thoughts, but the message kept looping in my head. No one's heard from him. I tried calling him once, twice, 3 times, each ring slicing into the quiet of my hotel room, straight to voicemail. My heart sank further with every failed attempt. I scrolled through old photos, snapshots of dinners, vacations, lazy mornings in bed, a life we'd shared. But now, I couldn't even reach him. Panic and guilt tangled into a tight knot in my chest. By the second day, I decided to ask around. I called his office, his sister, even mutual friends. No one had seen him. No one had heard from him. It was as if he'd vanished. My stomach churned. Was this my fault? Blocking him. Was this cruel, careless, or worse, the trigger for something catastrophic? Then came the text from his phone, but not from him. One read, "Check your emails. You need to know." Another, "It's not what you think, but you must see this." My pulse spiked. I logged into his email, hands trembling. There was a thread of conversations I wasn't meant to see. Conversations with someone else. A coworker, I guessed, from the casual tone. Plans, intimate jokes, dinner invitations. Names, dates, secret meetups. Shock froze me. I read and reread, the colors of the screen blurring with tears. Daniel had been disappearing long, before I blocked him, long before this vacation. Every excuse, every delay, every sudden business trip. It all fit together now, a pattern I had ignored, hoping it was paranoia. My phone buzzed again. A photo this time. Daniel, smiling, holding a glass of wine with her at a restaurant neither of us had visited. His smile, the same one that had made me trust him, now felt like a cruel mask. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to erase the image from my mind, but my hands shook too hard. I sat on the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, the sound of the ocean mocking my helplessness. My vacation, meant to be freedom, had turned into a prison of betrayal. And then another message appeared. Come home. You need to see him. But was it really safe to go back? I returned home the next morning, heart hammering, suitcase dragging behind me like a weight I could never lift. The apartment was quiet, eerily quiet. Dust motes floated in the sunlight, and the faint smell of coffee lingered, unchanged. But Daniel wasn't there. Not a note, not a sound. Only the soft hum of the refrigerator and the echo of my own footsteps. I called his phone again, straight to voicemail. Panic clawed at me. I rifled through every corner, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, hoping, praying for some clue, some sign that he had only left temporarily. And then I saw it. A small envelope on the counter, neatly folded, with my name written in familiar scrawl. Hands trembling, I opened it. Inside, a note. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. I couldn't choose between two lives, so I chose neither. I hope someday you can forgive me. No explanation. No apology that made sense. Just the hollow words of someone who had abandoned me and himself. My chest tightened and tears streamed freely. Every memory, every shared laugh, every late-night talk, it all felt shattered like glass underfoot. Then I checked my email again. More messages, more evidence of his life, continuing without me. Flights, dinners, whispered conversations. My stomach twisted with rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. I had blocked and protected myself to take a breath of freedom, and he had disappeared, not because of me, but because he had already left in his mind long ago. I sank to the floor, phone slipping from my hand, staring at the envelope. Freedom I had sought had come, but it was empty, bitter. I realized that love, even when it ends in betrayal, can teach a truth you never want to know. Sometimes, people leave not because you push them away, but because they were never really there. Weeks passed. I learned to rebuild slowly, to reclaim quiet moments for myself. I took long walks along the coast, journaled my anger, my sorrow, my eventual acceptance. Daniel was gone, a ghost in my life, and I had no choice but to move forward, stronger, wiser, painfully aware that freedom and heartbreak often walk hand in hand. If this story moved you, if it made you think about love, loss, or the harsh truths we sometimes face, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Stories like this remind us that even betrayal can teach resilience, and sometimes the hardest endings become the start of a new beginning.